Hello everyone, my name is Abby. Welcome back to our second episode of How Did We End Up Here? So in case you haven't watched the first episode, watch it. Wait, here. No. This is the second episode and today we'll be talking about Bela, who is my guest. So Bela, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Bella. I come from the Philippines. If we're talking career, I've been working for 5 years, primarily under FMCG, but I've been able to rotate across marketing, sales, and e-commerce. Because when I started out, when I graduated uni, there was this big hype over marketing. And I was just curious to know what's really the big hype. But then I think I felt that I didn't have enough exposure to other departments like e-commerce and sales. So I really wanted a management trainee position graduating out of college. I'm not too sure if that's famous in Malaysia or elsewhere. But back at home in Philippines, I'd say it's popular for fresh grads because they can experience different facets of the business. So that's why I really wanted to take it. And fortunately, I got one. And I went into e-commerce, sales, and marketing. And then from that experience, I can confidently say, and it cemented my want to be in marketing. And that's why I am currently in marketing now.
Okay, so what was your major in undergrad?
So I did very generalist role, which was business administration.
Bachelor in Business Administration and now you're doing Masters in Business
Administration, yes.
Before you went to uni, have you ever thought of going into marketing? Was it your passion, your dream, or what made you go there?
Before uni, I actually wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just know that I had an inkling. I really liked fashion. I really liked clothes. And I think coupled with wanting to make my own clothes and sell that to different people, I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. I actually started a business. There, this is my story. Before I even got into uni, I started a business with my sister and my cousin. Where, do you remember the time when flower crowns were really big? So it was a very small business and we didn't sell anything. Where we tried to make our own flower crowns, where we bought from Daiso. We would buy like these.
Did you use like
the wreaths or something and the glue gun and stuff. And we tried to sell it, but no one bought it. And then that transitioned into what was trendy during that time, which was, I don't know if you remember, there was a grunge phase in people's life where bands like 1975 were popular. So there was I don't know if grunge is the right word, and we tried to capitalize on that. So we would sell like choker necklaces. And then there was a time when white t-shirts with like print of memes were very popular. So I tried to sell that. And that was pretty successful. But this was prior to uni. We weren't too familiar with financing. So I can't say that it made money. It probably did. But I probably made like 20 AUD from the whole 1 or 2 years that we tried to sell. But it was a fun experience. And I think from that, I really found passion in being an entrepreneur. But then I wanted to, explore a bit more. That's why I took business at uni. But I think, and when I did go to uni, I did start another business. This time it was clothes, like linen clothes, because that's quite trendy back in the Philippines.
And that was with your fashion.
Yes, and I did it with my cousin again. That one I think gained significant amount of money because we were selling during the pandemic. So I guess for some reason people were buying during the pandemic.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. But yeah, people were buying in the pandemic. But there comes a time, and I noticed that also from the previous small business we had, where you tend to lose momentum when people aren't buying anymore. Because I think it's mostly driven from maybe me and my cousin as an owner putting things as a priority more. Like we were doing uni, so we prioritized uni more.
So that was more like a side quest.
It was a side quest. So that led to our business to not continue up until now. So yeah, that was what I liked. Or marketing wasn't the first thing in my mind prior to uni. It just so happened that because of my experience, and it's somewhat linked to entrepreneurship because there is a creativity side, I started to like marketing as well.
When you talk about marketing, can you tell us what you actually do in marketing? Because for me, I'm not from marketing and I'm not really familiar with marketing. So I think the general public would think like marketing is, you just post on social media, you just do some advertisements, you just design posters and stuff. But what's more to marketing?
So I love that question because that was my first thought of marketing coming out of uni. So in uni, they taught us IMC, which is called Integrating Marketing Campaigns, where, you're given this brief on build a big campaign for how you will promote, let's say, a brand. Then you will be like, okay, let's post on social media, let's post posters and all. So I think I have the same notion as you. But then when I started the workforce, marketing is so broad. Like saying you're from marketing draws so many questions already. Like, are you in trade marketing? Are you in brand marketing? Are you in social media marketing or digital marketing? And in those four different things that I just said, it's very different. So if you're in trade marketing, you're very focused on dealing with your buyers, who are your distributors or your retail people. Brand marketing is what mostly people know of as building campaigns online and offline. But I will get to that and how it's very different from the notion that it's purely posting stuff. And then social media marketing is very different as well, because you're posting content online, but you're also trying to tap on media buying. In very simple terms, it's buying Facebook ads, but how do you optimize that so that it's seeing the right eyes and seeing the number of eyes that you want it to see? So marketing is very broad, and it's different per task that I was just saying, and that's why I like it as well, because it's like it's so different from other departments that I've tried.
Wait, you mentioned trade marketing, social media marketing, brand marketing.
Yeah.
What's the
digital marketing, but it's more or less the same as social media.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of not easy.
Yes, sorry, that wasn't too
Sorry,
easy.
it's a jargon.
That was mutually exclusive,
Collectively exhaustive. That's okay. We learned that in our. You just mentioned like a few types of marketing, right? So was your job focused on any one of them, or?
Yeah. So I was able to do trade marketing.
Okay.
So in my trade marketing role, what you would usually do is you would work hand in hand with business development managers and or sales managers or executives, where you help whoever the account they're holding is promote your products in that store or in their pages. So a good example is, let's say this is a sales manager and I'm the trade marketing manager. That sales manager is holding, or their client is, let's say, Woolies, like a big supermarket.
Woolies is a supermarket in
yes,
Australia.
Yeah. Let's say that, and then you sell, let's say, liquid detergent. So then you and the account manager or the sales manager try to negotiate with Woolies on be like, hey, can we have a bit more shelf space so we can put all our variants? And hey, can we have a poster on the front of your door to say this? And hey, can we have this special place there? But it sounds very easy when I'm saying it, but in theory it's very difficult because you deal with a lot of negotiations, you deal with a lot of contracts, and you deal with how to place the product in a very strategic way.
And also how to make it efficient.
And also cost-wise, because you don't always want to be spending for those things. So that's what I was able to do. Back in the Philippines, we have this thing called general trade, and that's different from modern trade. So I'd say modern trade are your very big supermarkets. Like if I put it in Australian context, that would be your Woolies, your Coles, your Aldi. General trade would be your small mom and pop stores. I wouldn't say they have big brand names, but they would have one store like neighborhood supermarket or like a family small business. That would be general trade. And I handled that back at home, where there were a lot of accounts and very small accounts who would buy not very small, but pretty small stuff from us. But if you put that all together, it's a very significant portion of the business. That's why it's something that you have to take. That's why it's something that you have to kind of take care of also. And that's where I worked as a trade marketing manager. Now, to your other point on brand marketing, this one is where this is where the notion of marketing kind of comes in, where you just post stuff. But it's actually very difficult because you have to deal with a lot of market research. And I'd say that from that market research, it's how you use that data you have to build a campaign that really resonates with your consumers. Because nowadays, there's so many brands in supermarkets, and it's so difficult to try to position yourself that isn't with your competitors, especially if you're such a commodity where you don't want to put down your price, but you also don't want to damage your brand reputation. So it deals with a lot of analysis, maybe not just in numbers, but qualitatively. And actually, you don't come up with the creative stuff, you actually hire an agency to do that for you. So as a brand marketer, what I did is I would come up with a brief. Like, let's say I have this brand. These are who I want to target. This is what I want them to feel from this campaign. Then you give this brief to your agency. Then your agency comes back with, okay, because this is what you want to happen. This is what we recommend for you, which is like, let's say the metro, you put these small posters. And like, let's say, I saw a nice one on LinkedIn, which is Train to Busan. They had a very good execution where they had like a bus that went, I can't remember which country this was, but I can't forget it. There was a bus that went across the city. And then inside was zombies, like trying to escape the bus. And it was a promotion for Train to Busan. And that was super nice. And that's the stuff that brand marketing also
And that's like a sticky message, right?
That's a very sticky message.
Forget it.
Yes, and I could never forget that. I have a lot I can say, but that's that. And then the last one, the social media marketing / digital marketing, is something I haven't touched on. I have been able to work with media buyers, but it's such a niche, or it's such a different thing to learn from brand marketing. That's why it's something that I do want to explore as well.
Okay, then it's a good segue into my next question.
Yeah.
Like, you're passionate about your job. Like, you're happy there. So why are you doing an MBA now?
I'm doing an MBA because I wanted to see if marketing is very different abroad. So I've only done marketing in the Philippines, right? And I think that though I've been able to tap on trade marketing and brand marketing, I want to know how marketing is so different, especially in a mature and developed country like Australia. I don't have the data yet, but I'd assume that not everyone here is as price sensitive as a developing country. So given that not everyone would be as price sensitive, marketing would be so different because it's how you position yourself from this large number of brands here in Australia that probably has a loyal base, etc. So it's really trying to deepen my marketing skills in a different market, in a much more developed market, so that whenever I need to do marketing elsewhere or in a different country or even back home, then I feel like I have a lot of skills and be like, okay, this is what I did here and I think it will work here, but tweak some stuff because the environment is a bit different.
But what triggered you to apply for an MBA? I mean, like, you've been working for so many years, right? Like, why now?
The backstory of that is my parents actually took an MBA. And they have always told me that it's a really good experience that you take an MBA because not only does it help you, badly put, climb the ladder more, but also you get to learn a lot from different people.
Yeah.
And I think I'm still pretty young. I'm about 27, 1 year older than you.
Okay.
See, I stopped counting. I stopped counting my age, but I'm 27. And I think I'd say I'm still pretty young because I've met these people from our cohort who have these varied experiences. And I really wanna learn from them, especially from people who are in industries that I've never heard of, that aren't as much talked about or that we actually don't have back at home. Yeah, so that's mostly to enhance my marketing and to make myself better, hopefully, at accounting and finance. But don't tell my mom that I'm not too good at it because my mom is an accountant.
Auntie don't watch.
Mom. And then also to meet people from the world and meet people from different areas. But also lastly is, I think same as you, Abby, I'm quite introverted. I've always struggled going, though after work, I kind of let myself out more. But I've always struggled to kind of put myself out there and raise my hand a bit more and be a bit assertive is such a strong word, but to be a bit more confident. And I think this is a way for me to build not only a network, but build my confidence levels outside of my familiarity, which is back at home.
You would say that after your MBA, you will probably still go back to marketing, but maybe explore in whatever you haven't exposed yourself to?
Yes. I'm so keen to stay in marketing. I'm keen to stay in either brand marketing. It could be an FMCG, it could be a startup. I just love to learn. But I also do want to try social media marketing because it's something I've never tried before. And like I was saying, this is a very mature and developed market. So I really want to know how it's done here. Because back at home, I don't see as much openings for social media marketing managers. Because back at home, at least from my experience, it was through the help of an agency to help post, to help think about things. So I want to know how it's different if you are the social media manager, right? Like,
what if like you're the agency, like they do the social media?
That's what I want to learn as well.
Okay.
I would assume in my head that social media marketing managers are very similar to brand managers, where they think of the brief and all and the media buying. But what else do they do apart from what I think I know from brand marketing? So that's something for me to explore as well.
Now that we talked about MBA, like how has it been so far? So we are like 1 month plus in our MBA program here at AGS. It's such an ambassador. So how have you been enjoying life in uni life and also like life in Australia?
So uni life is very fun. The uni is very nice. This is in not stark difference, but it's like you see it in the movies, right? And then you're here and you're like, wow, the unis here are so nice and all. So it's a very nice campus, and I feel very happy to be in this campus. So I will be very honest that I felt very, very homesick, maybe in my first 3 to 4 weeks. I think it's coming from the fact that this is my first ever exchange or living outside of the world. And I've been so used to coming home to my family and then my dad blasting music, my mom getting home at this time. So it's like, it's a different shift from what I'm so used to at home. And I was just feeling so homesick because it's a change in my routine, right? So I felt like, I had some time to adjust to that one. But then, because our cohort, like you were saying, is so chummy, and it's nice to see that there are people who are like me, who have the same humor, who like to do this and not do that. It makes it lessens the homesickness. I don't think it will ever go away, but it makes you feel a lot better and makes you less homesick. So that's why I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been learning a lot as well as from our 4 courses, but I am struggling to manage my time. I'm really struggling with that because I'm a horrible reader. I don't read very fast. And if I do read, I need to read twice and with a lot of intent. And at the same time, I can't remember things from the get-go.
Oh my god,
so I have to take notes for it. And that's why it takes me so long to do a reading.
And sometimes you read and then suddenly it's not going to your brain. But
so I still have to, it just takes me so long. And that's why I have to then, and if you also put that side by side with wanting to go out with people, wanting to, build deeper relationships, and also because you just want to spend time with people you want to be with, and also want to do activities. Like I love to work out, so I'm having trouble putting that in my routine, and then I have to cook and I have to do groceries. So it's a lot different, and I think I go back to my homesickness. It really was that shift, having to do everything.
Suddenly my mom is not here.
Yes, that's like
to cook
my mom is here. I have to do everything. I mean, it's not an issue for me. Like, I know how to do my laundry, I know how to clean, but it's like I have to do everything alone now, and it's like I'm so dependent on myself now, and that was what makes it very difficult in terms of time management. But I am finding a routine now. One is, if I could squeeze in 1 or 2 hours in a day just to read even a portion of the readings, and that would be a check for me already. And then I'm trying to set a schedule for, okay, Monday you end at 12, so you can work out at 5 or 4 or something like that, or Tuesday, etc., etc. And I'm finding, I'm getting into it, starting to get into a routine slowly, and trying to, be a bit more organized with life and be like, okay, there's a networking here. I will work out this time, eat this time, etc.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with time management for us is because our uni organizes a lot of events for us MBA students, and that's a good thing, of course, but it's just like really hard to make a routine because sometimes on Monday there's an extra session of speaker sharing or something, and then you couldn't go to your Monday regular work at 3 p.m. You have to shift things around.
Correct.
So I think time management, is really important.
It's very important, and that's what the previous cohort was telling us too. Like, it's the time management. And when she said that, I was like, I wonder how. Now I'm
easy.
Like, and now I'm like, oh, okay, I really get it now. Like, you need like good time management.
And also, I think relating back to your point that you have to do everything yourself. I think moving to a different country, like you really learn to appreciate whatever your mom has been doing for you. And it's like, oh, I actually never realized that my mom has been cutting fruits for me, washing my clothes, sweeping my floor and everything.
Yeah.
And now you have to do everything yourself.
And I'm someone who is, I'd say I'm pretty clean. So every week I have to clean my bathroom. Every week I have to sweep my floor and mop my floor. So it's like, that's another thing to add to my time management. management. So I could talk about this for a long time, but yeah, time management is one of the biggest challenges in me right now.
Outside of work, like, okay, for now it's studies, but previously it work as well. What were your hobbies? Like, what are you passionate about that is not marketing, not work related, and that you genuinely enjoy and love doing?
Outside of work, what really makes me happy is number one, working out. I really like intensive is a strong word. I love intense workouts. So when I was still working, I would do Pilates 1 or 2 a week. Well, sorry, this is I don't know if this will open a debate, but there's a big difference between Pilates and Lagree. So I will correct myself and say I used to do Lagree 1 to 2 times a week. So Lagree is a mega former, it's a bigger reformer, and Pilates has different types of Pilates, where it's classical. I forgot the spot.
The reformer.
It's still a reformer, but it's a very different style of reformer. Lagree is more meant for strength conditioning. I would say Pilates. No one please grill me, but I'd say Pilates is more for posture, more for PT. If you will do the classical Pilates, I think. But I do Lagree, and I love Lagree because your whole body burns. Like all your muscles are being used, and like you're coming out of the studio so sweaty. I love it. I love it so. I sound so masochistic.
Yeah, some people want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. I want my whole body to burn. So that's what I do twice a week, and back at home. And then back at home, I would do a run. I will correct myself again. I don't run, I jog. Because if you say run, people think like, oh, you do the marathon. And I'm like, no. I haven't even gone farther than 5 km. So
it's really good already.
Yeah, but in the 1 hour. And then apart from working out, I also do like to hang out with my friends and family. So me and my partner, we often find ourselves watching a lot of movies together. And I often ask him, what do you think of it and stuff. And so we like to watch what's in trend or if people are talking about it now. And TikTok.
He's a big TikTok fan.
I do a lot of brain. Well, I think that comes with being in marketing. Because you kind of have to know like what's happening and stuff. Yeah. It complements me in a way. And then I do like going out with my friends. I love trying out restaurants, given that budget isn't a constraint. Hopefully not soon. And then, I just love to... Oh, and I love fashion, right? So I like going out. I want to say window shopping, yes. I don't want to say shopping is my hobby because I can't always buy what I see, but if I could, then I would. But I don't have that money. But window shopping, yes, I like to do. And maybe walking is also a hobby. I do like to be active. Like I said, that is my hobby.
Oh my god, I feel like walking is also my new hobby here because I think it's like a personal bias kind of thing because we feel like, oh, we're in Australia and everything here is so nice. I'm pretty sure the locals wouldn't agree, but when we're walking outside the trees, everything, the birds, the new birds that we never seen before back home. Everything is just interesting and like walking all around. And also because Sydney is like by the sea, so there's a lot of like coastal walks that we can do, and it's really pretty here. And right now it's like kind of autumn, moving to winter-ish. The leaves haven't really fallen, so it's still in a very pretty phase and not depressing yet. Okay, so you mentioned that after your MBA, you might want to go back to marketing. What about your business side? Are you thinking of like starting another business or?
That's a very interesting question because I would love to start a business back at home, but I feel like it would just be a side hustle for now because I think I still want to learn more about the marketing side. Honestly, I need to learn more about strategy in terms of marketing and learn more about financing and stuff. And of course, have the capital to start a business, right? Because it does take some money. But if I could start a business back at home, I'd love to. I've always been thinking about something along the lines of pet care. Pet food and stuff because very similar to here. I'd say consumer behavior is the same as Australia versus back at home in a sense that we humanize our pets. Like if you go to like a mall that's pet friendly, people will dress up like pets. They carry them in
like kids.
In
strollers.
And some couples even or families would rather get a dog than have a kid. I think
that's the trend.
That's the trend now. So it's very similar to here in Australia. So if I could learn a little bit something here, I'd love to apply that back home, especially if it's something novel. So if I were to start a business, I'd love to start.
So maybe like not in the near future.
Not in the near future.
After you learn and gain more.
Yeah.
Go back.
It's if I could start it now, it would be a side hustle. It wouldn't be my priority.
It's not the main. Yeah.
But I'd love to start one. But for now, I'm really looking to stay in marketing, learn about different industries, learn about the consumer behavior here and how it's very different from back home, and some strategies as well, because I do assume that it's going to be different in a developed market where, like what I was saying, where maybe price sensitivity is not such a big thing. It's more of how you sell your story and how you sell your brand and how that resonates with your target consumers.
If someone younger, let's say like high school or maybe in uni, if they're looking at going into marketing, what advice would you give them?
Well, if I put myself in the same shoes I was in uni, the one thing I would tell them is it's very different from what you learn in uni. In uni, they will teach you market research is just surveys. You know, you would send out surveys.
It looks easy, right?
It sounds easy in theory, and you would be creative. You know, make these campaigns. Design posters and stuff. People think that way, but it's very different, in marketing, and it's something that you have to explore where you feel more comfortable in terms of the retail side, which is the trade marketing I was saying, or the back end side, which is the brand marketing. So what I would say though is, it's like I'm talking to myself back in uni. It's like just explore where you want to be in, take all you can, and be like, oh, okay, I like this part in this side of marketing, but I also don't like this part. In this part, let's say brand marketing, I like this aspect, but I don't like this aspect, and kind of weigh them out and be like, okay, I don't like this in brand marketing, but I like this, and this weighs more than what I don't like. So I will go to brand marketing versus trade marketing, where, just understand your trade-offs and find out where you want to be in the marketing space in general.
Okay, so that was really insightful. Thank you, Bela, for being on my first 2 episodes of How Did We End Up Here? So see you next time. I don't know when. I don't know who else I will get on my channel. Maybe it's just 2 episodes too.